Hey everyone, my name is Mathew Sanford. I'm honored to be here with all of you at the end of the year before the crazy holidays. Um, Today I want to introduce what's going to be a 7-week course starting next week, which is going to be on, it's called Coming Home to Your Body, a short course on trauma and the mind-body relationship. But I thought that was a little bit heavy to start with right before the holidays. And so I want to just teach a holiday de-stressor where we start paying attention to our bodies. Give you a little bit about my background. I'm not a typical yoga teacher. I've been practicing yoga since 1991. However, I was injured in a car accident. Here's me wheeling around here. All right, I'm a paraplegic, paralyzed from the chest down, and I've been practicing for 29 years. And what I've been exploring is how to connect to disconnected parts of your body, right? And there's an obvious analogy to that with trauma. And so my insights come from yoga and how to transform the sense of emptiness into fullness within the mind-body relationship. However, this week, I want to just take time everyone's got extra stress, maybe loneliness this holiday season, and all of us could just use a slight mind-body practice and grounding. And so there's some core sensations that go together in every yoga pose. So one of the things I like to say about yoga is that the principles of yoga don't discriminate, but yoga poses do. Meaning that I'm never going to be able to stand up. I'm completely paralyzed from the chest down. And so where I can't do headstand or shoulder stand or standing poses, the principles of yoga are applicable to everybody. And that's what I want to start exploring today. And there's certain core sensations that will actually be part of the course starting next week, like at the same time, that are, if you have these sensations, you actually have a good yoga pose. There are 4 of them. But if you have these sensations, you actually have a better life. So one is actually the sensation of grounding, of allowing. So the idea, so there's grounding, there's balance, there's expansion, and then there's rhythm. And one of the things that is crucial to my approach to trauma is to recognize that there's certain sensations we want to facilitate within the mind-body relationship. And so that there's wisdom that can travel from body to mind, not just from mind to body. And so, like, for example, the sensation of grounding. So everyone sit up straight and tall, right? So then watch it and sit on the edge of your chair, right? Because already, and if you're in a wheelchair, that can make you fall down, but fall out of your chair. But so sit up straight and tall, and then make your sits bones more like knives, like sharp on the inner edge of each sitting bone. And then let them be like butter. Let them drop. Feel the change in your chest. Feel the change in your legs, right? Now again, make them sharper again and start to lift the chest and simultaneously extend from the inner groin to the inner knee and down to the heel. And then release. And then let it drop again and watch how your sensation in your body and connection changes. So mind-body connection is one of those things that everyone says all different things. And I want to define it for you as an experience, right? Not as a thought, not as an idea, right? I want it to be an experience. I want everyone to lean back in their chair. So I'm just leaning back, right? I'm behind the center of gravity, right? And I'm just in this position. If you actually were to sit here, it's funny how our culture wants reclining chairs and stuff, but notice how this is not that great on your neck. Like if you sit like this for too long, it's gonna suck, right? And you're gonna get in pain, right? So now sit up straight and tall again and connect to your sitting bones and feel the change of presence in your legs. I call that the mind-body connection. Now watch when it goes away again and go behind the balance point and get dull. The sensation in your legs is duller, right? And that's because you changed gravity. So this sensation, now again, sit up straight and tall, come to the edge of your chair and be more aware of the bones in your rear end, connect that down to your heels, start to lift the chest. This is like a more clarified sensation, right, in your body. Now soften your jaw, the inside of your mouth. Keep the spine alert. connect it down through your feet, soften your jaw, the skin, the temples, the skin on the forehead. So be soft and alert simultaneously. Yoga is going to ask you to do that over and over again. Alertness and softness at the same time. This is one of the principles inherent to every yoga pose. Take a couple of breaths and then release and watch posture. You wonder why, you ever heard that sitting's the new smoking, right? It turns out that this position of a dropped sternum, do you see a lot of happy people go around their lives like this? Probably not. One of the simple places that you're going to want to open to the world is not just your emotional heart. It's literally this part of your spine needs to enter the world more, right? And what's amazing is that it connects down to your sitting bones. So let it drop again. Now, what I want you to get is where the mind intersects the body as experience. That's what I mean by mind-body connection. There's nothing more that needs to be said about it. It's like, I want you, over time with yoga, yoga helps you facilitate a closer connection between the experience of mind as it intersects the body. And what you're going to find is that the body has a lot of wisdom to teach your mind. And that's what we're going to start exploring next week in relationship to trauma. Now, I really want to bake your noodle. So I'm paralyzed from the chest down, and I can't, if you tickle the bottoms of my feet, I can't feel it. If I tickle the bottoms of most of your feet, you can feel it, right? So I live a mind-body disconnection. What's crazy about this simple thing, everyone lean back in your chair again. My spinal cord is severed right here, right at the mind-body solution sign. And now when I sit like this, and when I sit up, everyone sit up again, press down to your inner heels, I can feel that too. That level of sensation transcends a severed spinal cord. Now, I have a nonprofit called Mind Body Solutions that teaches healthcare professionals and yoga teachers from around the world how to facilitate sensation that's not as loud as purely physical, that isn't just mental, but that occurs at the intersection of your mind's experience with your body. And it turns out, not only does that help you move and get more graceful in your life, right? That actually transforms, has the potential to transform your experience of your past, the possibility of your future. It helps finding where your body is. Remember, your body is the best home your mind will ever have, ever, no matter what's happened. It was designed, we were designed to be in both mind and body. So adaptive yoga is taking the principles of yoga and trying to figure out how to facilitate a deeper and more direct connection to the experience of the body. And there's a lot of reasons why we don't do it. In fact, one of them is the holidays, right? That you get all caught up in your lists and what you're doing and not doing and how it's going to be, and you run around. I started the nonprofit Mind Body Solutions in 2001 because I started to notice that the mind-body disconnection that I experience in my body is actually reflected in all the people around me. So what we teach people with disability at Mind Body Solutions is actually solved for everybody. We all need, and remember something really important that'll be a big theme of these coming weeks. Your body will never leave you, ever. Your body is what stays faithful to living, not your mind. That is true. And this is part of why I work with Bessel and the Trauma Research Foundation, because they're really beginning to pursue how the body is going to be integral to the healing of trauma, right? Because there are things truths that your body holds. So the four sensations I was talking about as a yoga pose, we started by feeling the sitting bones down to the feet and being alert and soft at the same time, right? There's certain places in your body that to make sure you stay connected to certain levels of softness, like keeping the inside of your mouth soft while being full of doing things with effort, right? There are certain core places that you should try to strive for simultaneous awareness. So there are a couple principles. So this idea that's in every yoga pose, one of them is down to go up. So anytime you rise up, something has to go down. So you can teach this to anybody, right? So sitting bones down, and then lift the very low abdomen up. So you can see that this expand on my chest, right? Remember, this is the most connected part of, in my belief, human consciousness, is not just the emotional heart. It's literally, this is the center. It even precedes your breath. So when you can get this to lift and open, and you get a sensation of expansion. Because notice the difference between when I do this and when I do that. My connection to what's around me literally gets disconnected. Disconnection is a sensation that we want to start teaching something. That's what I'll be talking about a lot next week, right? Again, so hitting the sits bones down, lifting the lower abdomen up, stretching down from the inner groin to the inner knee, down to the heel. Now be more aware of what's behind you. Open your awareness to what you cannot see. Let your breath touch everything. So feel your inhalation. So you're breathing, the whole world's coming towards you on inhalation. Exhale and extend, hit down through your sitting bones and stretch out to the top of your head. Now, when you can make that type of awareness synchronous with movement. So I want everyone to inhale and take your left arm up on an inhale. And then stretch down. Now I want you to do something opposite. I want you to stretch up here and press down through your right sitting bone and your right heel. And then exhale it back down. Again, we're trying to crisscross the hemispheres of the brain, right? So inhale, take your right arm up. And as your drama, your mind follows the right arm, be more aware of your left sitting bone and your left heel and connect them all in space. Take a breath. Let it go. Exhale. Down. Now, if you can, see, this is harder for me. Some of you are going to be better at taking both arms up, but I've got balance issues because I'm paralyzed from here. But take both arms up. Now, hit down with your shoulder blades, but keep your arms straight. Down to go up. Now, from your sitting bones, reach beyond your fingertips. How do you do that? Well, that's weird. Take your arms down. All right, so here I want everyone to lean over to the right. Now I want you to be more aware of your left hip as you keep this length from your pubis bone to your sternum open, right? So you're opening this way and take your arm up. Now I want you to extend this way as you're opening this way. Now watch what happens. I want everyone to drop your chest. Feel how much heavier the world just got? Right? Open it up again. Extend. Be aware of this length, but be aware of the length on the bottom side too. Right? So you're going up and then release and then come over this way. Lean over to the left. Right? Take the arm up. Be aware of this broadening. So this arm is just drama. The opening is here. The arm follows. Now lengthen this way as you open this way. Be aware of your right sitting bone and your right foot. Take a couple of breaths. Good, and then come on up. There's some really important spaces in your body. Your low back, from your tailbone to about your mid back, especially if you're sitting a lot during this pandemic, right? It's getting compressed. So you want to figure out ways to lengthen it. So those of you that have a table in front of you, put your hands on the table. If you don't have a table in front of you, right, put your hands on your knees. So I'll back up a little bit, right? So you've got this, and what I want you to do is lift your chest and engage your arms. Press down through your sitting bones and down through your inner heels. See this sign getting more aware? Now watch what happens when I drop my chest. Drop your chest. Notice that the connection to fullness in your body is transformed. right? Now start to open your chest, stretch your arms, stretch through your fingers, lift under the collarbones, hit back with the sitting bones, down to your seat, and then release. I want you to come down even farther. So put your forearms on your knees. Bring your hands together, right? So my hands are in prayer. And I want you to make the center of your palm be more open and connected. But as you do, I want you to feel the inner edge of each shoulder blade, where each sitting bone is, and where each heel is. Let your hands be a singularity and have your whole body be touching between your hands. Breathe. Turns out that human consciousness is capable of focused awareness and whole awareness simultaneously. This is something that gets lost if you've gone through a lot of trauma, right? And so you practice things like this. Now I want you to open the center of your palm, extend out through each finger, lift your chest, drop the shoulder blades down, but keep them apart. Hit your sitting bones back down into the chair and be aware of your heels. Breathe. Feel a connected whole. Feel the strength of your engagement, of your whole bodiness. Empowering a student is to also achieve by giving them control over the sensation of strength in a place that's their own. Good, and then release. So now take your left arm up on an inhale, exhale, come to the side, find a place with the other arm. So now we're just twisting. You gotta learn to let go of things, right? So lift again, this part of your spine, inhale, lift up, exhale, start to revolve. Drop the shoulder blades down, keep them spread. Inhale, lift up, exhale, revolve. You gotta let things, you gotta wring out the dish rag, right? And get the dirty water out of it, and then come on back. Be in the center. Inhale, take your right arm up. Exhale, bring it down. Take the other arm behind you. Now again, the key in the way I'm teaching today is I want you to get your chest lifted as you inhale, lift up, and exhale, revolve. Again, you re-lift under the collarbones. You get the spine to be lifted. Stay connected to your right hip and right foot. Inhale, lift up, exhale, revolve. And then come on back to center. Be in the center. Sit back in your chair. Inhale, take a breath. Come forward on an exhale. Ground your hands down into your legs. Lift your chest. Inhale, come on back. All we're doing now is synchronizing gravity changes with your breath. And then ground, inhale, go back up over your back of your chair. If it hurts your neck, keep your neck forward. Take a breath, and then exhale and come forward. Inhale, lift your chest and ground your sitting bones. Watch yourself move through space. Imagine there's like a neon brightness in your chest, and that's what everything's moving around. Bring this part of your being back. Let it hit the back of your chair, up and over the chair. Take a breath. Exhale, come forward, come through space again. Lift under the collarbones, ground the sitting bones. Open the chest. Watch the sign, mind body says, watch it open. That happens to happen on you. And then come on back on an inhalation, up and over the chair. Exhale, come forward. And then find neutral. Do you know where neutral is? Between what was just forward and what was just back? How many people are going to be losing neutral over the holidays? Right? They're going to be too dull or too lit. You should study where the center is. You should study it as a sensation. It's not just a mental achievement. Center is a mind-body sensation, a connection between emptiness and fullness at the same time. That's your center. It's not loss. It's not disconnection. It's not just connection. It still has disconnection within the connection. That's where center is. And that's part of what gets injured when people get traumatized. They lose the grounded quietness that their brain can't access that anymore. So in the coming weeks, we're going to explore how the mind-body relationship and learning to facilitate mind-body connection in simple ways, how the wisdom of the body can start traveling towards the mind. And we're going to practice different sensations and facilitate them for you to use on yourself, but also if you help people with trauma. I want all of us to get better at knowing where center is. Just look at our culture right now. We're off center. We're blaming people all over the place. We're trying to live from outside to in, not inside from out. You know what happens when you live from inside out? The natural consequence from the body to the world is compassion. If you can find the place on the inside, you will connect to what's on the outside. That's what we're going to start exploring in the coming weeks. I hope you have a great holiday and be well. Be in love. It's a good thing. Hands together, that's how yoga class usually ends. Namaste. Spirit in me bows the spirit in you. Thanks for being patient during the interruption. We'll be back. We got more to share. Take care.